Welcome to Phil Matrano Lessons. Right on, we have the great Manny Van Boer, one of the best drummers in Europe, and also editor of Drums and Percussion magazine in Germany, a very fine magazine, and we have him here. We're lucky enough to have him on the website, so I'm very happy to have him. And let's start with some great questions. Here we ask good questions for drummers that maybe usually people don't ask. So, are you ready? One of the favorite questions is from people on the site is, what is your idea about art? What does art mean for you?
Art. Art starts where the obvious ends.
Where the obvious ends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. Oh, that's great.
That means if you go into the music in this and music is you have today everybody's playing a lot of technique. Me too. I like technique and looking I like all this stuff, this drummy stuff too, but at the end what counts is the role of the drummer in a band is to you have so much power not to be obvious. You have more power to create the music, to be creative is a part of the art. The art has a lot of aspects.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just playing fast stuff and you say, oh, that's obvious.
Right.
But art begins where obvious ends. That means if you dive into the music and play with the right taste, with the right feel, technique is in this. It's not important then anymore. Then it's just the expression, how you express that kind of music you are playing with, and that also involves your sound. It's art to develop your sound, and every musician who is an artist has his own personality. You can see his personality or feel or hear his personality in this music, and you can hear his own sound, his own style, his own way he touches the drums, he plays the drums.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me as an artist.
Right. Great.
Great
answer, man. Superb answer. It's a great answer. A lot of great drummers have really fantastic answers like that, man, which is really enlightening, because many times we don't think about those things. We're too stuck on paradiddles and all whatever crap,
Yeah, that's a vocabulary we're working on.
Yeah.
I'm still working on. I'm playing drums now since 45 years, but I'm still working on this because it's never ending.
Right.
It's endless.
Right.
And it's nice to have all these tools, and also to experience how this works and this works, or you develop fast feet or whatever what you can do, and playing ostinators with your feet and doing melodic stuff like Terry Bozzio on top, and that's art. It's his way to express himself.
Right.
That's important.
Yes.
To find your way to express yourself in a way that's musical. That's not Olympics or not
Exactly.
too much technique. Technique is just a vocabulary.
Right.
It's like somebody who writes a book. You can write a book with very simple words and express yourself, or you can be very complicated and you have to read it 10 times to understand it.
Right.
But it's your personality has to shine through. That's the important thing, and also.
Great.
Yeah, and I like technical stuff. So I'm working on. I developed something with the heel toe. With two. I played 2 bass drums.
Right.
And have a double pedal on each bass drum.
Right.
And,
we're going to show you some of that for the website guys here. We're going to show you some clips Manny has. So go ahead and explain that a little bit.
Yeah. It came to me one day 12 years ago when I started experimenting with heel-toe technique on the pedal, but all pedals were too short to do this really. So you have to switch your foot.
You mean the footboard was?
Yeah, on the footboard, on the pedal.
Yeah.
To do this like a conga player.
Right.
I was watching conga players and I said, you probably can do it with feet too.
Yeah.
Why not? You have a heel and you have you have two parts of the foot you can use. So I started experimenting, but at that time you couldn't get longboards.
Right.
2000, 2002, around 14 years ago. So I said, playing two bass drums. I'm also playing two bass drums since nearly ever, two different sizes.
Right.
And I said, probably if I do a double pedal on the right bass drum, that was the first step, and a single pedal on the left bass drum. And that started with the foot doing this movement, heel toe.
Right.
And I got this two beats with one foot. I said, oh, cool. And if I do it with the right foot too, so I need a lefty pedal to find a lefty pedal. At that time, I switched to DW. DW came to me, drum workshop, and asked me if I could play, if I like to play their drums, and that they sent me, and I said, okay, great drums. And they had this left pedals, like the 5000 right version and lefty version.
Right.
So I figured out how this works. So I found out if I put, if I have the right double pedal on the right bass drum, and the lefty double pedal, and have the extension board of the left double pedal on close to the right double pedal, and but not the same at the same level. A little bit. I set it up like this.
Right.
And I put the foot
across both pedals.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can work with both pedals. So if I do so I have to find a position where this works very well. And after a while, I found out also the tension of the springs, and so we have to work on a little bit. I found out that I could play like a conga doubles, like in this way, like right, left, right, no, right, left, right, left, and so I worked on that, and it's something very special. I mean, you cannot use it. Probably you can use it in metal or in rock, and I use it when I play also my solo stuff on clinics and seminars and workshops to show the people it's a possibility to play that. I mean, it's fun to do this for me. I use it. I have also a song written on the new DVD, which is about this foot technique too. But it starts with normal single pedal, double pedal, quad pedal, because I have four.
So it's called the quad pedal.
Yeah, I call this technique quad pedal.
Okay, cool.
And multi pedal is on the DVD too. And I can do also accents with this. So I can do this question under things with snare drums based on
Wow.
You can see it on this trailer.
Okay, yeah.
We did.
We'll put that up on the website, you guys. I'll have a little trailer for you. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's ever done that, I think.
No, it's. I developed it. I saw no other drummers doing this.
Yeah.
I saw Giorgio Myers doing this on a single pedal.
Right.
He's doing this with a single pedal. But this is a step further, because also it's not the only way you can play the double bass drums. But for example, if you change over from the main pedal of the right bass drum to the extension of the left bass drum, you can play the bigger bass drum. I can play with the right foot too.
Right,
so I have two different kinds of sounds with the feet, and I can do question answer things, or sometimes I play a double pedal version of double pedal figure with a with a bigger bass drum, or then I change it to the smaller bass drum in the verse or something, you know.
Right.
There are more options
Right.
you can use with this kind of technique or with this concept.
For those of you who are wondering about Manny's setup, I'm going to have a picture also maybe of your drums.
Yeah.
But you can also see on the trailer a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man. What do you think about? You have any tips like for the guys about because Manny's also not also a great drummer, but a great musician. Like when I seen you play live, you sound like a very, very accomplished musician, you know, when you're playing, not only drummer, you know what I mean? So you have any tips for developing your musicality? Like that's a big issue for drummers because we tend to be stuck, you know, in a certain phase of a drumming life. We're stuck in the paradiddles and that whole thing. But a musician, you know, on drums, you have any tips on how to develop that?
Basically, I started playing in bands, playing with musicians, so playing the music which was there.
Right.
And my goal is also being a musical player. Even if I play solo stuff, I have the music going on in my head which I want to express, and also I want to express it through the drums. That means Therefore, I also use a lot of tom-tom, so I can play kind of melodies there. Not only fast stuff, of course, too. It's also a kind of express yourself.
Right.
But it's just a small area. And the musicality, I played in so many bands in Germany and Europe, different kind of styles, and did a lot of studio at that time. Even I have my own studio now, but at that time when there were big studios, I did a lot of studio work too.
How many records have you played on? Probably
a lot more than 300, 400.
Unbelievable.
It's a lot of stuff I did in the past.
Yeah.
Also, I did a lot of stuff I never got
credit for.
My name on.
Right.
You know, I did overdubs for Tom at the time when the Simmons stuff came out. I did overdubs with this stuff and on pop records or so. There is here in Cologne is a big studio. There was a big studio scene. They had a lot of big studios.
Right.
EMI Electrola studio, the big studio. I did a couple of records there with a fusion band, Lenny McDowell band, and that was experience. My experience. I got the experience from there to play what the music needs.
Right.
And to play it with all my feelings I have about this music, with all my creativity, and with although you have to be precise, and the role is, as a drummer is to be in time. Don't speed up or you know. It's like be in time, playing in time, playing precise, and play the stuff the music needs. You know.
Great. Playing with these bands, how do you develop ideas for the music?
First, you have to listen what's going on. The most important thing.
Right.
You have to listen what the other musicians are playing. Also, I'm used to improvise. We had a band in Germany, Alex Oriental Experience. He was a singer, guitar player. He was in Turkey for a couple of years and was playing with a very well-known band there. And he came back and with a sus, that's a kind of string instrument they use in Turkey. And it's normally acoustic instrument, but he was building in pickups and played it like a guitar. And with this guy, my first gig was, I had no idea what was going on. He asked me if he could play a show, and we were improvising for 2 hours and it was great, you know. And before that, all of the bands I was playing in, we did a lot of improvisation, so I was used to listen what's going on and develop ideas from that.
Right.
You know, what could fit in, and here a little bit and there, and then you build the whole thing.
Right.
And if you do it more and more, it's like you have to experience that.
Right.
Because if you play on that level, you don't think anymore. You just listen, and you don't think I play a paradiddle here, it could fit, or I could play this bass drum 16th, no, it would fit, and you don't think. It's just play and let your body move. Somebody's giving this from top, and then it goes through you, and you have a flow, and you're on a different level also. If you play, that's also when I play, even when I play clinics or so, I try to get on this level, because on this level you play things you never did before, and also you wouldn't do them again.
Right.
It's just in the moment. You're living in the moment. You're playing in the moment. And that's one of the most intense experience I did. Oh, that's when I played, you know, when I play. And this happens to me, that it's like, yeah, it's another dimension.
Yes.
It's another state of consciousness.
I know that you're into meditation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen you play. I saw you play one time at a drum festival. Well, I can't remember what it was. Many years ago, where I liked what you played, and then afterwards I asked you about it, and you told me about controlling the tension and release of what the solo you're doing, controlling the emotion. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that, about how you do that exactly.
It's hard to explain.
Very hard.
You know, I started with meditation because I was in that direction, finding something which gives me more creativity, more awareness of going on in music and life, and I found this transcendental meditation. It's a guy, a yogi from India, came to Europe, and you know the Beatles, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi is his name. What's his name? He died some years ago, and this is a technique which gives you a mantra you can meditate with. I don't want to explain it; it's a little bit too far away. But this experience was one of the deepest impressions in my life and the deepest experiences. And at that time, that I was 20. Then started with the meditation, and I was playing more and more. Then I could see that the state of mind I was when I was playing was more and more in that direction of meditating when I was playing. That means I did that was the other level. You know, some people say you are in your zone.
Right.
It's just other words for this.
Right.
State of mind, you know.
Totally.
If you play drumming, especially drumming, you know that drums have such a power also to transform you in another area, in another state of mind, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
And all this together, after a while, I found out, hey, when I play, it's like it happens. I have all my technique and I can use it, and it's just a quick thought. I think in a direction like I'm using now. I don't think I'm using paradiddles now. I do this or doing that. I have an imagination how it should sound, and then I do it. I express that sound through my instrument. That's what I do, and it's a little bit. It's a kind of control, of course. And but also I let it go.
And how do you get to that control? Because when I saw you play this particular solo, it went, you know, it was very well paced out until the ending was really big, you know. So that's not easy to do, to pace out a solo like 15 minutes long.
On the DVD is a solo I did in It's 20 minutes.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, and that's what I tell all my students. That proves that you are in a different state of mind.
Right.
You start playing, and you start playing, and you play. Don't think about playing now parallels. You just play. I tell my students, just play for what you think. Free yourself.
Right.
Play what you know, and try to paint a picture or something.
Right.
Have a start, have an end,
Right.
and after you think you play probably 5 minutes, and then you look at your watch on your watch, and it's 30 minutes.
Right.
And that proves that you are in a different. You know, the time is just something we human beings. This is time from 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, and this is an hour.
Right.
That's what we wie sagt man?
Perceive.
Yeah.
Perceive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's timeless. It's,
Right.
You know. And in that moment, you are. I started with it, and then ideas are coming. You know, ideas, and I have the sound of my drums, and then.
So you have any kind of structure like before you?
Yeah, I have structures.
Okay.
When I play in my studio, I record everything.
Okay.
And I'm trying around also. Of course, I have to experience things before I can play them.
Right.
That means I have to experience what I can do with my piccolo toms, and how do I tune them in a different kind of way, in a special kind of way. That means I have to work with that stuff.
Right.
And I have to play my rudiments, and I've worked on that. I've worked and still are working on this.
Right.
To get control, to
Right.
but when I play, I try to forget everything and just express my creativity in this situation. That means that I use parts I developed before, but also when I play this part, sometimes they move somewhere,
Right.
and I let them move.
Right.
I don't say, no, I can't do this. I have to play this now because I structured the solo in this way, and I have to follow my structure. No.
Right.
And then the adventure starts when it suddenly goes.
Right.
And then sometimes it's wonderful. It could be sometimes not so wonderful, but but this is also that's human. That's, you know, if it doesn't go the right way, you can come back.
Right.
You know, and you go to follow the structure again, and then the next door opens, and you start something you never did before, and nice. And the funny thing is, this energy flow, it develops a special energy flow. People get it.
Right.
You know, if you see a band playing, like jazz bands are doing this, fusion bands, they do interpretations of their own compositions. So they take the freedom to play something they never did before. A solo is going somewhere, and people like that.
Right.
Because it's fresh. It's something. You can feel that special energy in that moment. The creativity starts on stage also. But the only thing you never have to think about that. Because if you think about, then you don't do it.
Exactly. Right.
You know.
So it has to be there. If you have like a prearranged structure, it's like a base that you go off of, and then things happen. It's just like, I mean, that's totally art. I mean, that's totally like every great actor, every great artist kind of says the same thing. So I hope you guys are listening closely. I hope you guys are listening, man, because that's good stuff right there. When you're playing, you have a lot of different styles available to you. You do stuff with rock stuff. You have your world music thing. I've seen you do stuff with the percussionist Hakeem Luden, a great percussionist from Afghanistan. And what do you think about the importance of learning like different styles and stuff like that?
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important because it opens your mind. If you just play one direction, you limit yourself because it's just one direction.
Right.
You can go one way and okay, you can go faster or slower or whatever. You can watch a flower here or there, but if you go different ways and experience mountains and experience this in the nature, it's the same. So it opens your mind, your consciousness. Right. Therefore, it's important. I did a solo record 10 years ago, Manifest, and I do a lot of African stuff in there. Right. I like African drumming.
Yeah, that's great.
It's somehow, and I like Latin drumming, but this is from me. It's a little bit more far away, but I like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Indian drumming. That's a totally new experience. This is so full of creativity and so complex too. It's hard to understand first what they are doing.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
But anyway, this is an adventure. Our road as a musician, as drummers, is an adventure. Yeah. And be adventurous. It comes back and it pays off.
Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, and as just one last thing, I won't hold you forever. These are great answers, by the way. Any tips, like business-wise? You're really knowledgeable about the drumming world, business world. What tips maybe you have for a drummer who wants to get into the music business, wants to get, to become a professional drummer?
I mean, if you're on the scene and study at Berklee, so you are close to the pulse,
right?
What's going on,
right?
And
that's true, but there are hundreds and hundreds of drummers that graduate from a place like Berklee. But what sets like a guy like you apart? And so all those guys, after 4 years, nobody hears from them again. You've managed to stay on the scene for how many years? 35 years in Germany, one of the most busiest drummers in Europe, So that has to be something, that has to be a reason.
That's hard.
It's really
Sometimes
hard,
I think about why this drummer doesn't make it and this drummer's making it. I mean, it has something to do basically with your personality and the way you choose inside. I mean, if you can play everything, that doesn't mean that you feel it.
Right.
And you have to feel music, and you have to be. Some drummers, I know also magazine-wise, because I'm doing that Drums and Percussion magazine, drummers come to me, oh, you have to do a story about me, I'm the best. And look, in YouTube, there are so many young kids now who can play. But they don't have personality.
Right. That's why I was asking you, because there's an overwhelming amount of drummers now, more than ever, but you never hear from them again.
My opinion is they have today. There is a big, the big mastery of technical stuff, and being fast, and they can play everything. But I think the personality lacks. That means it doesn't. Their personality doesn't come through their playing. Right. Because they listen to other drummers and they want to do it better than other drummers, technical wise. They want to be faster and they do this stuff and this stuff, but they don't think musically.
Right.
And this lack of musicality and personality, if this comes together in the right way, then I think you have a chance to look into your future, or you have a better future, or a future which is, yeah, you can probably play with bands. You have to be also a nice guy, you know,
Right.
somebody who is like this. I can do everything.
Right.
This never so nobody wants to play with
Exactly,
somebody
right.
like that. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be nice. You have to be a hardy somebody, you know,
Right,
not being nosy, and
Right, right.
you know, this is also a very important part.
Right.
And you have to be visible.
Yeah.
Show
One
what
thing-
you can do.
Right.
Write books, do DVDs,
okay, yeah.
teaching stuff. You know, also if you want to go into the scene direction, or many drummers ask me how I can get an endorsement. And it's endorsement is that a company gives you some stuff, and you have to give the company something.
Right.
It's not because you play fast or what.
Right. Yeah.
You can get an endorsement.
Right.
So you have to, it could be that you have a school, or that you teach, that you have 50, 100 students, or you're doing camps or whatever. And then you catch the,
Build
Yeah.
your name from there.
yeah,
But one thing I think what you said was very important, that you have to play in bands, which means you have to actually play music.
yeah,
Like many guys are just on YouTube and whatever, and then they
Yeah.
wonder why they
they
can't.
don't play.
They don't play anywhere.
Yeah.
And they don't play no music.
Yeah,
That's for one. So that's, I think, one of the big differences. That you've been playing live. You've been playing music and recording. That's a huge thing nowadays. It seems like, man, why aren't guys playing some music? It's really funny.
yeah, they just do the technical stuff. That's
Right.
Olympics, more or less.
Right.
Or what I see is drummers playing songs from other bands, and then they play what the other drummer was
Right, they
doing,
play,
just
right.
a little bit faster or whatever.
Right.
But this is wasting of time. Or this is probably wasting of time, not because this is a. If you are in a learning stadium,
Exactly right.
that's a step.
Right. Exactly.
So, but you don't
Stay there.
stay there.
Right,
Go
right.
further. Go in the musical direction. Try to express yourself. Do something. Even if you play drums, just with a kid, you can do so many things. I mean, there are examples like Terry Bozzio, people like that. They, all great drummers. Also, like drummers I admired, like Ginger Baker, Billy Cobham, Steve Gadd, Tony Williams. Sam Phillips, Terry Bozzio, Dave Weckl, they also can play in a band.
Right.
If you see Billy Cobham playing in a band, that's amazing.
Right.
How this guy has a deep pocket, and then sometimes he explodes. Okay, and then he's back, and
Right.
and that's his way of expression, and that's the thing. Not being just. And to play in a band, to play with musicians, to be social, to be a part of
Right.
this,
Mm.
not to express your ego and put your ego in front.
Right.
That's not important.
Right.
Just be a part and develop together with other people, develop great music. That's why all these great bands came up in the past, or bands today.
Right.
You know.
Right.
How this music. I did this too with bands here in Germany. We developed music. We were sitting in the rehearsal room for hours and just jamming and record this stuff, and then we listened back and we said, "Oh, this part we could use for a song, or this part." That's how we developed. Today, I actually 2 weeks ago I was on tour with Randy Hansen band, and 3 guys were standing in front of me after the show. We have this. A little where we sell records and T-shirts, and 3 guys suddenly are standing from me. Oh, we love how you play together in this band, and
Right.
in this direction, that direction. We improvise a lot, And I said, are you a band? No, we are 3 guitar players. Okay, Randy is guitar player, and
Right.
guys watching him. And he said, it's young guy, he's 22, and he said, that's what today's musicians don't do anymore. And we want to do it with our bands.
Right.
So I said, that's right, do this.
Right.
Be adventurous.
Right.
Do something you never did before. And look what, sometimes it's crap, and sometimes it's wonderful.
Right.
And take the wonderful stuff and develop it from there again.
Awesome.
Because the wonderful stuff comes from the inside. That's why I record my sessions at home. I record everything and put it on CD and listen when I drive in my car
great.
and listen back. So I find the spots where I do something I never did before. And this I use. So I learn it from there. Because when I play and do something, and I stop and think what I did, and then it's like sand
Right.
falling down through your fingers.
Right.
You cannot catch it because it's away, and you try it, and this takes away what was there. You know.
Right.
Try it. Oh, this is, and then it's totally different at the end. So I record everything, and then I find the spots where I play something new, something which is nice, which is wonderful or nice. So I take that, and because I listen, I use this hand figure or this foot. The feet are doing this,
Right.
and that's a way to do it. You know, some people write it down or so also. But when I listen back, I know exactly what I have done. So
That's great, man. Great stuff, man. Manny, thank you so much for this interview.
oh, you're welcome.
For the site.
Hey, thank you for. Hey guys,
Great,
Argentina.
Yeah, great tips, and I hope you had a great time listening to Manny. Fantastic drummer. Yeah, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Right on. PMLessons.com, yeah.